Halal way to get high. Hello, people. My name is Farida, and I'm happy to welcome you to my podcast, Business Lounge in Dubai. So today I'm having a really interesting guest. I'm so excited about this episode because we will be talking about business, mindset, and all the energy behind it. And my guest is actually a mix of both. She's a successful Dubai-based entrepreneur. Also, she's a wellness expert and co-founder of the premium recovery studio in Dubai, the Ice House. And her name is Ekaterina.
Hi, Farida. Thank you for such a nice intro and thank you for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you. I'm so excited. You know, in my podcast, I always invite guests. We discuss all these parts of success, which is not only business and money and success, but also mindset, mindfulness, and all these energies. I hear a lot about this ice bathing, infrared saunas, and all these things that how they affect our energy and mental state. Tell us more about it. Maybe let's start with getting to know who are you and how did you actually end up in this business. Please introduce yourself. Tell us who are you, what's your background.
Sure. So my name is Ekaterina, as you announced. I'm originally from Russia, but I've been living in UAE exactly half of my life for 17 years, since 2008. And most of my life, I've been an employee, right? I was working in corporate jobs. Actually, my background is in accounting, finance, auditing, and similar jobs. And I spent about 10 years of my life doing that. And then, at some point, probably I hit some what they call midlife crisis, where I thought I was sending, that 100th email in a day in my corporate job. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? I'm helping some other people achieve their dreams, right? And then I'm just that small piece in their big system. But what about my dreams? What do I want? So I started asking myself those questions. And coincidentally, my husband and I started doing ice bathing as a hobby. We were in Saudi Arabia for a few years working in a job, and we watched this podcast by Dr. Andrew Huberman.
Yes,
he's
love
a
him.
neuroscientist from Stanford University, and he was listing the benefits that you would get with cold water immersions. We were slightly bored, so we're like, let's try it. So we got an inflatable ice bath, placed it on our balcony, and I can say with confidence, it transformed our life. It felt, when we started doing it on a regular basis, it felt as if it divided our life and before ice bathing and after. And why is because there is a lot of potential benefits you could get, both physical and mental. And I feel that we hit each and every one on the list. So it helped us with recovery after exercise. It helped with mental clarity. It gave us so much focus. It brought out some creative side of me. I didn't know it existed because I was putting myself in the box of, accounting and auditor.
Yeah.
And those guys are not creative at all. And it brought out this creativity that I started my blog as well. I started sharing with people that I'm doing ice bathing. Then we took our time and we advocated it among our friends and family and colleagues. So they started doing it and they loved it. And we're like, oh my God, it changed our life. Now my mom, who is almost 60, she's doing ice bathing. She did cold plunge with me in a 4-degree river in a part of Russia where we traveled. So then we're like, can we spread it beyond? Who else can we put in an ice bath? And at the same time, because, it coincided that we're doing this and having all this experience, but I was also having this midlife crisis thinking, what do I want to do with my life? So my husband and I, we were looking for a business idea that we could do. And it was not in the area of recovery. But at some point, I remember my husband, he came to Dubai for a business trip and he wanted to keep up his regular routine. So he signed up for a gym on a short term and he's like, I want to do ice bath, let me Google. So he found a few places that were offering ice bath. And that day he went and he called me and he's like, oh my God, I think it's a business idea. Like I see there is demand. I see people are willing to pay for this as a service. Because when we did it in Saudi, it was kind of DIY, right? Do it yourself
Yeah.
style. So we had this ice bath and we needed to make our own ice. We needed to buy ice. Every day the preparation would take my husband like about an hour. And after a year of doing that, we're like, is there anyone we can pay money to do it for us, right? Because we were cherishing our time over this effort. But the effort was still worth it, so we're still doing it. But if it was an option in the place where we lived, we would pay somebody to, take care of all of that and make it hassle-free for us. So we started looking at it as an idea. We traveled both. We came to Dubai. And, we've been in Dubai before, so we're very familiar with the market. So what we did, we Googled ice bath and we went to every single place we could find on Google. Sometimes we would do ice bath in like a hallway of a boxing studio in the middle of like people doing their exercise.
Yeah.
And sometimes we had like premium locations, in 5-star hotels. But we just wanted to see what is there in the market and what can we bring, or what can we differentiate from what is there now and add into it. So that's how Ice House came to be. We thought it is, was hitting all the points for us. Like it was changing and transforming people's lives. If just one person who came to the Ice House had the effect that I had from ice bath, like I feel that is my dream, right? I already achieved my dream with that. And then also we wanted to bring something different that was not available in the market. So we added a lot of options that to this day no other place in Dubai has.
We'll shift a little bit later to your business idea. It's really nice how you explain actually about your life. Just one question I want to ask about Saudi, because it's a neighbor country and like a lot of talk now about Saudi. Many people I know go there and they tell me life in Dubai became so costly, so they go to Saudi where they say salary is higher and you don't have many things to do. So you go there and you're actually save money. So I'm wondering why you didn't decide to do it in Saudi. And just briefly, how was life there? I mean, why didn't you decide to bring it to Dubai rather than doing it in Saudi?
That's a very good question. So we spent a few years in Saudi. I lived there for 3.5. My husband lived there for 5 years. I moved to Saudi during coronavirus. So
long time.
my husband was there and I was here when it happened. So for about 6 months, because the travel was difficult, all the PCR tests we needed to take, we didn't see each other much. And those were like the first years of our marriage. And I'm like, that's not how I imagined it. So I quit my job in Dubai, I packed my stuff and I moved there to basically be with my husband. And then I was lucky enough to get a job in the same company he worked in. And the company is called NEOM, and they're building the city of the future in the northwest of Saudi Arabia, close to Jordanian border. So when we had this idea, where we were based, it was like just a couple of thousand people living there. It's 2-hour drive to the closest biggest city. There was not enough demand probably for us to open it in that place. And then other cities we did not consider because we understood that with the recovery services, you need to open in a place where people are so forward thinking that, there is already customer base waiting for it to be open. Otherwise, you will be in the business where you first need to educate people why they need it, and then they will become your clients, which would be also a way. And it doesn't mean it's off our plans. I would love to open there one day, but I think it's just not at this moment. And for the first business and for the first branches, we wanted to open in the place which is already ready to receive it.
Wow, I really like your pragmatic, good way of thinking.
That's the accountant in me.
Yeah. Actually, you have an amazing background. I mean, finance, if your core is finance, I think you can succeed in any business, right? I mean, it's helping you a lot, I guess.
Hopefully, yeah. I do feel it helps me. It helps me to be logical over being emotional in some places. and I do use it still on a daily basis. But the funny thing is that when I started my company and I thought, oh, obviously I'm going to do the accounting for it. And then after some time, it was always pushed back as not the priority, because as a CEO and entrepreneur, you have these other priorities like the strategy, the product, the customer base. That accounting was always like that last thing on my mind. And after some time, I gave up and I hired an accountant. I'm like,
Yeah, and this is actually an amazing tip, because I think majority of first-time entrepreneurs, they get into this trap. They think that if I'm accountant, I can do it the best. I know all the kitchen. But because I
True.
believe if you want to grow a successful business, you have to learn how to delegate, right?
This is very true. Yeah. And I think I understood it the hard way. And probably in the business, there is always some time where you're going to wear multiple hats. As a startup, as entrepreneur, the first week I was also the cleaner, right? Because I didn't have a chance to hire one. But eventually, as you grow, you need to start prioritizing things and delegating them. And you
Okay.
need to get people that are good at it and that do have time that they can dedicate to that specific thing. And sometimes also people fall into trap that, oh, I can do it better than anyone else. And that's actually a really bad thing, because you cannot scale if you do things yourself. So as an entrepreneur now, today, like after a year of doing this, I would consider that my main tasks are strategy and people management. So as an entrepreneur, you need to motivate your people. You need to make sure you're all moving in the same direction in your company, and
Yeah.
everything else comes as secondary.
I like it. That's why you're doing good. Or tell us, first of all, what are the time frames? I mean, how long are you having this business? When did it start?
Right. Okay. So the story that I was sharing, the Saudi Arabia, and eventually I quit my job there to come here to oversee the fit out process. Because as you know, in Dubai, if you want to get the good result, you need to be there. You need to be on top of them to understand, to push things through and make them happen. So in July 2024, I quit my job. I moved here and I was overlooking the fit out process. And in September, we opened our doors of our first studio, which is located in DFC. It's an Index
Okay.
Mall. I love that location. I think it's perfect because there our target audience are people who are working very stressful jobs, which are very demanding. And I myself was there, right, just a year prior. So I totally understand, and I understand their needs. And what we're giving them is that quick boost of energy. I'm giving them that quick boost of energy, and we have customers who are heads of divisions in multinational banks. And they told me this is the only place where my mind goes quiet. Like throughout the day, they have so many decisions. Their job is so stressful that they sneak into the ice house between their meetings just to have this quick energy boost and recharge. Yeah.
Yeah, like you actually jumped to this question that I wanted to ask about Target. And I just want to explain to our listeners that we will divide this conversation into blocks, so you can actually benefit from getting to know if you want, for example, to start business. I'm sure many people who watch this type of podcast, they dream to have business in Dubai. Dubai is place to be. So in this part, we will discuss the business side. We will dive more into maybe some tricks or tips that our beautiful guest wants to share with us in case you want to do something like that or some wellness business. And then we will shift and actually let people of wellness also enjoy this podcast. I definitely want to know more about how this works, and Ekaterina will explain exactly what is the process of ice bath. So since we're in the business part, can you tell more about your target audience? Did you plan that, okay, this would be my people, where are my corporate people, or it just happened like this that you see now? This is your target. So who are they?
That's a good question. So we now have two branches, and the second one, so the first
Oh,
one,
you have two
DFC.
branches. I didn't know. I thought you have one in
No,
DFC.
we recently opened second one. So DFC branch turned a year in September, and then 3 months ago we opened second branch in Meadows. It's in the
Wow.
Meadows Village Mall.
Nice
It's a
location.
high-end community surrounded by several communities, which are like villas and townhouses. So very high-end people live there. Emirates Hills is around, Springs, Meadows, etc.
Jumeirah Islands, and I think more like family oriented, and
Right.
DFC is more
Yes.
like
More, yeah, that's very
like
true.
bachelors and couples.
So
Yeah.
I think the target audiences also differ from each other. So in DFC, we have more of corporate people that work there. With traffic these days, people who come to DFC, they try to base their whole life around DFC since they're there. So they go to the gym there. They try to do their grocery shopping there. If they have a salon, they try to find it around the area. So we're right there, trying to offer our services to them. And I think we're in the right place for the right audience there. And in Meadows, it's more high-end, more business owners, more stay-at-home moms, which is also a job, as we know, full-time. And we're there targeting them for more, gaining that focus, maybe to help them be more present for their family, more
I love
involved
it.
in their business, etc. So it's different audiences, and we probably target them slightly differently. We understand their needs, and we try to offer the solution for whatever need they have.
I think mental management is like a new time management, right? So now you offer service not only to actually get better physically, but you offer mental clarity service, basically.
Very, very true. The combination of heat and cold, it targets so many things on physical and mental level. For example, if I list just my top benefits, it's obviously like recovery, the soreness after the gym, both help with that. Then infrared light, it penetrates the skin on a deeper level than traditional sauna does. And it hits mitochondria, which is the energy power plant of your cell. So it helps to regenerate. It helps to reduce inflammation. So people with pains, aches in the body, it also helps with that. It also boosts collagen production. So, for some glowing skin, we care about that. We girls care about that. But also, like, for example, ice bath, it burns through your cortisol levels. So if you're constantly stressed with life, and now stresses are like what? A bad boss, or your kids are misbehaving, or I don't know, the traffic, right? That raises your cortisol levels. And then while you're in the ice bath, it lowers them down. So in comparison to ice bath, now nothing seems as stressful to your body as that. And then it releases a lot of happiness hormones. So people that struggle, with bad moods, or maybe some close to depression states, they receive this boost of dopamine, serotonin, and all the other happiness hormones. So it works on so many levels, and it only takes, like in the ice bath, you just need to spend 1 to 5 minutes maybe. So it's the most effective thing I found per minute spent on it.
Yeah, so now we actually shift to the wellness part. So let's continue to, if anyone has question like what the hell is that and why would I jump into ice bath. So how it started, I will tell you how I got to know about this. I got a baby, so because I started breastfeeding, I thought I better not go into this. And for this like 1 year, almost 2 years, I'm watching what's going on there. And I see that people, as you said, DIY, basically do it yourself stuff. I see that they arrange events where they bring this ice bath, or some of my colleagues, I work in real estate, which is extremely stressful job. I see some of my colleagues bringing these things on the balcony, buying ice, and I was thinking, how he will remove this water from there, from balcony, from this huge bath that he made himself there. I was like, how can I do this? So basically, what is the procedure? Tell me. So person comes, he jumps into the bath, and then he goes to the sauna, or like, let's say just cold bath.
So at the ice house, we base all our recommendations on scientific research that has been done. And
So there is a research.
of course,
I want to clarify. It's not just Ekaterina decided to throw people in the ice.
that comes on top of scientific research that has been done. It's a peer-reviewed research, it's been replicated many times, and all the protocols we recommend our customers is based on that. And so the protocol we recommend is to spend 20 to 25 minutes in infrared sauna. Infrared sauna is, by the way, not as hot as traditional sauna. It works most effectively between 45 to 65 degrees Celsius, while traditional goes up to 90, up to 100, right? So people might not be as sweaty in it. They might not feel it as much, but it does work. It has been proven to work on a more cellular level. So in addition to what traditional sauna does, which is basically heating the air, and the air hits your skin, and that's how you start to sweat, and it helps a lot with detoxification, the infrared sauna penetrates the skin. It goes up to 4 centimeters inside, hits the cells inside your skin, which then help to regenerate, which is amazing. There have been even records, which are not yet studied scientifically, but there were records of people reversing bad sight by doing infrared sauna frequently.
Bad eyesight.
Bad eyesight, yeah.
So tell me if it's correct. There is like a red light therapy. So this is something like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is the red light, infrared light, and it can be on different wavelengths. So there is mid infrared, there is far infrared, and there is near infrared. Our saunas have 3, all of them together. And they work on different levels, right? Then they hit different things inside your body, but it helps a lot with inflammation, any pains, any aches. And as we age, we tend to accumulate inflammations in our body. And what it helps to do is to reverse it. So you go back to like your 10-year-old self in terms of how inflamed your cells and your body and your tissues are. That's if you do between 4 to 7 times a week. And then also by doing it 4 to 7 times a week, you reduce the risk of your cardiovascular disease by 40%. So it almost halves it. And especially important for men, right? Because we know that
they don't take care of themselves that much.
Yeah, and they're in general they're at more risk than women are with these things. But even for us, it's very important to do it. And then all the other benefits come in handy, glowing skin, detoxification of the body, etc. And so we start with 20 to 25 minutes of infrared. And then we ask our customers to always shower for hygiene, and then they can jump into the ice bath. Our ice baths are like top notch of the market. The one you described, the balcony one, this is the one my husband and I had as well. You also need to maintain the hygiene in it, right? But with our ice bath, they're sophisticated, so they take care of all the filtration, sanitization of the water. Our JFC ice baths have 3 mechanisms inside. For example, it filters the water like the public pool does, right? So it has the filtration system. Then it has UV sanitization. That's the blue light that they use in hospitals. And then it has ozonation, which has been proven to be more effective than chlorine. Yet it does not have adverse effects on the skin, because chlorine is not good for your skin, for your eyes.
So there is no chlorine in
There
your
is no
water.
chlorine. So ozonation, it's a molecule, right? O3 molecule. But in that environment, the 99% of viruses and bacteria die. They cannot survive.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know. I thought it's just a bath.
Yeah.
But you take care how to remove the water from there.
Exactly. We do the cleaning. We try to make it hassle-free for you, right?
No. This is another level. Don't please bring it down. It's not hassle-free. It's another level that person cannot basically do at home. Person at home bath cannot filtrate water or ionize it. Wow. I'm so impressed. I didn't know. I actually took ice baths I couldn't wait another 2 years while I will
Seriously?
stop
Well,
breastfeeding, and I took ice bath. I'll
how
tell
was
you
it?
my experience. It was a little bit weird. I did it in Bali. I took this ice bath, and they told me remove your hands and legs so you don't feel too cold. And in general, just for you to understand, I'm very a cold person. I
Okay.
feel cold very easy. I will stand on the cold floor with my bare feet, and I feel how my kidneys do like this oogie woogie. So I don't like these things. But I like, for example, go into super hot sauna and then jump in very cold water. So I jumped there, and then maybe I don't know how long, 1 minute or 2 minutes, I felt cold and I wanted to get up. I got out and I went to this red light. It wasn't sauna, it was just red light room. So I also believe in red light. So I stood there, and then other people came and they were sitting there for 3 minutes, and I was telling myself, you're a weak person. Why? I was waiting for 2 years and I sat for only 2 minutes. I came out, I said, I want to sit for 1 more minute, so I also do 3. So I sat for this 1 minute, and mental clarity, another level. It's really true. It's really true. Better than anything in this life, I think. Even better than meditation, I think. But I had side effects that these guys are telling me it's my mistake that I've done it. I don't know, you tell me it's true. Because all the night I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep and I was feeling cold.
Really?
Yeah, so tell me, the guys told me that, guys in that shop, they told me it's my fault because I shouldn't have returned to sit in it for this 1 or 2 minutes. Do you think it's true? Or I just got too much energetic, that's why I couldn't sleep.
It could be. It could be a combination of both. That you pushed your limit. It was your first time. When somebody comes and does it for the first time, we recommend them starting with just 1 minute or even less. And with ice bathing, you basically have 2 levers you can play with, which is temperature and duration. So the generic recommendation that was science-backed is to start with warmer temperature, but still cold, right? So for you, maybe it would be like 18 degrees and you would still shiver. And then start with 1 minute. And then you build your resilience to like get 11 minutes a week and to get to like 5 degrees. It took me 2 years almost to get from 20 degrees. I was starting my ice bathing on the balcony with 20-degree water, and I was still feeling cold and I was still feeling the effect. And now I'm doing like 5 degrees, and I've been doing it regularly for 2 years.
Wow.
So there is a way. It's not what I see is that sometimes people, they try to push their limits, but we want them to take it as a journey.
Yeah.
And it's also not something, you don't go to the gym once a year, pull 200 kg,
I just wanted to say this, I swear.
and expect like great results. Yes, by pulling 200 kg, like Romanian deadlift once, you will feel the pain in your muscle, but long term, it's not gonna do much for you, right? You might actually harm yourself more than help yourself. So we are always recommending people to take it as their gym. It's about consistency. It's about doing short sessions, not come once a month and sit in it for 20 minutes. You're going to do more harm than good for yourself.
Yeah, always when I go to the gym, you can spot these people. He comes not too much, but once in a while he comes, kills himself, and then he says, gym is not for me. And I am apparently this person with ice bath. Yeah,
it's fine. You can come to the ice house. We'll teach you how to do it.
Yeah, actually, after that experience, I got a little bit scared that, maybe it's not for me because of my kidneys. Maybe I have weak kidneys. By the way, tell me, is there any type of people who should not be doing this at all?
Definitely. Before the first session, we always give people a form and we assess their physical condition. So if you have any chronic disease that you're aware of, or in your case, you're saying, your kidneys, I'm not sure if you do have something with your kidneys or it's just a feeling you get, but if you're unsure in any way, we recommend you speak to a doctor and get their clearance before trying it. And especially, for new moms, for breastfeeding moms, for pregnant people, for people with heart disease. We always ask them to first check with their doctor before attempting to do it. But we had so far around 3,000 sessions in the ice house of people, and somebody had adverse effect once. So the statistics show that majority of people, their bodies can tolerate it. And again, if it's your first time, we will be there to guide you. Like
So
my
one,
managers are trained to guide customers through this experience, because people tend to hyperventilate. They tend to, try to jump out as soon as they can.
yes,
And they're there to calm their nervous system down and to help them focus on the breath. And that is a very empowering experience as well, right? If you can
yes.
push your body like through this physical stress, after you leave, you feel like, I can do anything. I can push through anything in this life, right?
Yeah.
Did you have this feeling
Yeah.
after you exited?
I wanted to do it for so long, so I was just happy, and I was in new country exploring Bali, so it was a little bit different. But I came there next day just to do red light, and I've seen a guy there, and he said exactly the same thing. He said, "I'm doing this every day." I was like, "Every day? I'm still feeling cold from yesterday. You're doing this every day?" And he told me, "Yeah, I come after my training in the morning, do ice baths," and he said, "After this, there is nothing what I cannot do in
True.
my work life." So I really love, and that's why I wanted to speak to you about it. I really love ice baths is showing this connection, how inside wellness, energy, and all this connect with the business part, and this way, like, you get full person. Yeah, full from each side. He has business part, which he becomes more successful in, clarity and like health and stamina, right? Let's give examples. So our viewer now watched this podcast. He was like, "Okay, I want to go ice bath, to do ice bath." Maybe he wins the gift from Ekaterina of getting the full service. You said, so what is the full service? Person first goes to sauna, then ice bath. So how does it look like? You give him training,
Right.
guide us through the steps.
So when the person first arrives, we explain to them what's going to happen and how the session is set up. We will ask him about his health condition. We'll ask him to sign the forms before we walk them inside the room. We have a private setup, so you're inside the room alone unless you want the guidance. And the manager, we have wellness managers, they will always ask you which one do you prefer. And if it's your first time, maybe they will try to insist that you have the experience with them, because from what we see from the statistics I'm seeing in our booking system, that people that do have guidance, they enjoy the experience. They tend to come back.
Yeah, of course.
While if you try to do it alone, it can be a very miserable experience. You will sit there for 10 seconds, you'll jump out, you will not understand what's the whole buzz is
going on.
about. Exactly. And then they will leave you to your sauna session. We try to ask people to get off their phones. So we do have speakers. You can turn on your favorite podcast, in an audio format like this one, for example, and you can listen to it while you're in the sauna. Then after the sauna, you shower, you call in the wellness manager. They will come and they will take you to the ice bath. And we have, I think, I'm biased, but I think we're the best place to do ice bath for the first time, because first of all, this guidance is complimentary. It's on the house. You can use it as many times as you want. We had people who came 10 times, and all of 10 times they asked for guidance. And we have regular customers, loyal customers, who have been with us for over a year now, and they still use guidance every time. We also offer different temperatures. So we have 3 rooms. In both locations, we have a setting of 3 rooms, and there is a room for beginners where the water temperature is between 10 to 13 degrees. So it's not as
Nice.
cold as most places
Like a
offer.
gradual.
And then
Introduction.
eventually your body will adapt to anything, right? So if you've been to that room many times, you've been consistent with your recovery, we will graduate you into mid-range room, which is like 5 to 9 degrees. And then once you're comfortable there, which again, after 2 years, I'm still uncomfortable there, we will graduate you into expert room, which is 1 to 4 degrees around that.
That's what I did.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's too extreme for you to start that way, you know, because eventually your body will adapt to anything and you are limited by zero with water, right? Because below zero, it's pure ice. So you do want to build your resilience to get to those extreme temperatures. And that's a journey. And I'm still on that journey. I still didn't reach that end, you know. So that's what we recommend our customers, to start warmer and build your resilience, and to start with maybe 1 minute and build your resilience to 11 minutes. And 11 minutes is something recommended by science. That
Wow,
to get
11 minutes?
not in one time. So the science says the protocol is to do 11 minutes per week, broken down into 2 to 3 sessions. So to this date, like in my perfect week, I do ice bath every second day, and I do it for 3 minutes only.
Wow. Wow. So we come now to the point that actually people occasionally go for ice baths 2 to 3 times per week. This is like ideal scenario, yeah?
Yeah.
To keep you like clear, focused. And do you feel you became more resistant to cold? Like, can you live under colder AC now and not die?
Definitely.
Yeah?
I feel it, yeah.
Wow.
Especially in comparison with other people. I'm like, I'm fine. And they're like, oh my God, it's so cold here. So you do, you know, the thermoregulation of your body, it does change because you train it, right? You train it to be very hot and very cold, very hot and very cold. So it adapts better in situations, especially when you're surrounded by air. It's much easier to regulate your body temperature when
Wow.
you're touched by air than when you're touched by water.
I remember I came to Dubai, you know, same time like you, 2008. And I remember watching in this 17, 18 years how every time new people come to this country, they feel sick because of AC. So basically this way you kind of get yourself prepared, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
So the way it works on a body level is that you feel sick because of virus. But the virus can get in only when your guard is down. And your guard goes very low, like your immune system is very low when it's cold, because now it needs to fight off the cold and the virus. And sometimes it loses the battle. That's how you fall sick, right?
Yeah.
And with this, you teach your body to always keep that guard up regardless. So since I started doing it, I don't remember last time I got like sick with the virus, you know, at all.
Nice. So guys, if you're looking for ways how to get healthier and survive Dubai AC, you know what you can do. You can visit the ice house. Wow. You know, it's funny because in Russia, I'm not from Russia, I'm from Kazakhstan, but we also have this thing, we have mountains and rivers. So in winter, there is like some holidays when all people gather and go and jump in this river. And it's so funny. This is basically me who sits in a warm temperature and then once a year goes outside, jumps in like 0 and dies after this. But this way, you can actually master this. Our beautiful guest just told us about it. You said something about 3,000 people visit, not people, 3,000 sessions, let's say you had in what, 1 year?
In 1 year.
In 1 year. So we know 1 in 3,000 will be unhappy. Not unhappy, might have something not pleasant, let's say, right? Which is actually amazing rate. I don't want to dive into your financial part of this business, but just like for listener who wants to open maybe wellness studio or something connected to wellness or recovery, can you say like when did you, let's say, break through? When did you have this point that you said, okay, now it's my business, now it starts getting returns, or it's still growing and not getting returns?
Okay. So with this business or similar types of businesses, which are like fitness studios or salons, maybe gyms, the usual payback period for your investment is around 3 to 5 years. It depends on the business. It depends
Normal,
on
yeah.
things. It's okay for business to become operationally profitable within the first year. And it was the case for both of my branches. Operationally profitable meaning like EBITDA before depreciation and taxes, etc.
Yeah.
But with these businesses, there are two very important things to understand. One is Dubai seasonality. So people do tend to travel out of Dubai and come back, and it needs to be accounted in all of your forecasts. In my initial forecast, I completely ignored that thing by mistake, and I was shocked when I saw, the decrease in sales, the decrease in numbers in December, let's say.
In
And
December.
yeah,
Okay.
and then similar with summer. So there is 2 seasons in Dubai when a lot of people travel, right? Because
Yeah.
many people, majority living here,
Go home.
expats, so they want to spend time with their family in their home countries. New Year's and summer are two
Okay.
very low seasons that everyone needs to be prepared for. Maybe not even in services business, maybe in other businesses, but I can only speak for
Yeah.
myself. And second thing is the importance of location. So if
Yeah.
somebody wants to open a similar business, they do need to make sure they find the perfect location which will be fit for their target audience, right? What I see with my second location, that a right location, because in Meadows we're located very close to the gym. So
Okay.
everyone who goes to the gym, they kind of see us and then they turn to the gym. So we get a lot of organic traffic, which I was surprised. I thought in this day and age, you only advertise on Google and Instagram and other
Yeah.
platforms and you'll get people. But it's such a huge difference to the business, which is in a good location, to also get the organic traffic. So, and in Dubai, retail location is a bottleneck. They only maybe build 1-2 new malls per annum, and majority of the space is rented out. So to find something good, you need to really hunt for it.
Yeah. And how did you do it? I want to know as realtor.
Right. So if you see a retail location, commercial space on Property Finder or other websites, it means it's a really bad one that nobody wants to take. If you want
Yeah.
a really good one, you go there physically and you walk through the mall and you note every location that you think could possibly be a match for you, and you get to speak to the management. So that's what we did in both times. There are also hunters for locations. So there's people who will help you find the location for a fee, varying
Yeah.
between like 5 to 10% of your annual rent. Yeah, and especially if you want to get into with big developers like
MR. I
MR.
think you're having MR
Oh,
in Meadows.
second location, yeah, it's MR. We did use a person who helped us find the location, help us put us in contact with the person who was making decisions for these locations, and helped us pitch our idea for them. And it's like on a Shark Tank, right? For each location, you need to present, you need to convince people why your business is a good idea and how it fits in their overall strategy. Because each mall has their strategy, the vision they have, and they want to understand what are you bringing for their customers.
Yeah, I think especially with MR, because I know I've spoken to business owners who are in Dubai Mall, and they told me it's
Dubai
a
Mall is
big
its own
battle.
universe.
Yeah.
MR team is broken down into Dubai Mall and everything else.
Yeah, of course, size and importance.
Of course.
So let's say you walked around that mall and you found an empty place, which is actually luck. Luck, because it's hard to find. Usually before a place gets empty, somebody is already has signed something there.
Yeah,
right?
and sometimes we found places that were already signed up with somebody else. But in our first location, this is how we actually found it. We saw it. They already had a contract on the place. So we actually had to wait until it gets closed. And then the contract was re-signed with us.
Okay.
I think we were very lucky to, find that out. And if we didn't find the location, we didn't ask the management, we would never know. We would assume it's, already gone.
In my work, no matter how straightforward is this business, real estate, I always say no matter what is this property, it has its own tenant, and it will find its own tenant, and tenant will find his own home if he kind of listens. If he doesn't go against the flow, but goes with the flow, the tenant comes eventually to its own location. I believe this location is perfect. When you told me meadows, I was thinking, wow, they covered two cool, they're so different parts of the city, right? And I think for you to now pitch new owners would be much easier when you have already locations, so you show that you're successful case, right?
Like even pitching to Amara was already easier because we said we already have this, and those are our results. Let us bring it here. Let us bring it to your mall.
Nice, I love it.
Yeah.
Now, when you look back, do you have any regrets, or did you have time when you was like, oh my God, why did I go into this? I should have stayed corporate person, enjoy my corporate life. When even though I think it's stressful, but at night you sleep more tight than the business owner, or no?
It's very true. I love my work. I love my business. I have endless energy that I'm ready to invest into it until it's, the most successful recovery business in the region or in the world. Like I have very ambitious plans. But what you said is very true, right? Because in a corporate job, your risks are so limited. Your biggest risk is to get fired. Right. But
Yeah.
you always get your salary. There is very limited responsibility that you have. But with your own business, the responsibility is unlimited. If something happens to the client, let's say, I can be liable for it. If I don't have money to pay if the business did not generate enough money to pay my employees, I still have to pay, right? Because they have their own obligations. So, but with the higher risk, you get higher reward as well. There is no ceiling on your reward if the business is successful.
Yeah.
So I feel definitely more fulfilled than I was in that, bringing back to the start of this conversation that, sometimes you want to fulfill your own dreams rather than somebody else's, your boss's, right? And now I feel I live the life of like fulfilling my own vision, my own dreams. And it does feel more purposeful. In a way. So I do enjoy it. And yes, sometimes the risks, they make you wake up in the middle of the night, especially if something is happening for the first time. So your system does not know how to process that new kind of stress. You kind of struggle with it. But you know what helps? Ice bath. You take an ice bath in the morning and you feel better. Yeah, I'm like, okay, that stress is also manageable.
Wow. So if you have basically stressful decision to take, you go take ice bath. It's like, I feel that ice bathing, it's like really a meditation.
In a way, yeah.
In a way, because I speak to many men in business and they tell me, I'm so stressed, Farida, I'm so stressed. And I tell them, why don't you meditate? And they say, I tried it so many times, it doesn't help me. They believe that not only men, of course, I don't want to say like this cliche that men don't meditate. Many men in my surrounding meditate, by the way, but not like that much, not so deeply. I feel women are more sensitive and dive deeper, kind of. Let me know, maybe I'm wrong. Meditation, it's harder because you sit, you need really to keep on this focus. But in ice bath, it's hard not to meditate because it's so cold.
It's hard not to focus on your physical sensations.
Yes.
Yeah, so your whole focus goes there. So there is no space for other thoughts, right? Because you're like, oh my God. I always tell people as a funny way to describe the experience, I'm like, imagine you're drowning in a frozen lake in Siberia. And that's what your body experiences, because your body would never think you would do it on purpose. You would think, oh my God, that's an emergency, we're drowning. So what happens, for example, the example you gave with the hands. So your body draws the blood away from your limbs to protect the organs. So that's why your hands and your feet go numb very quickly. You stop feeling them, and sometimes it's uncomfortable feeling. That's why some people take their hands. Even I never put my hands inside. I keep them on the sides because I don't like the numbness in my in my fingers. And same with the feet. And then, so your body is fighting for its life, trying to protect the organs which are important for you to survive, right?
Yeah.
And then when you exit that situation, your body thinks, oh my God, we survived this tragic accident in the lake in Siberia. So it releases all those happiness hormones saying, yay, we survived. It puts the blood circulation back into your limbs, so you gradually warm up after the experience. But that release of happiness hormones stays with you the whole day. And I call it the halal way to get high, because you get
I love it. Halal way to get high.
because you cannot really get addicted to it. You're not going to do ice bath 20 times a day, or like it's really hard. It's still a challenging experience, right? For me, after
Yeah.
2 years, I still have to push myself to do it. So it's not like something you truly get addicted to, yet the release of those happiness hormones scientifically has been shown to be 200 times more than if you did use drugs.
Wow.
But then without the, with any drug or alcohol or even like nicotine and smoking, your dopamine levels rise, but then they crash, and they crash below the baseline. That's why with time you need more and more. You need more of that substance to feel the same good. But with ice bathing, for example, the release is even more of dopamine, but then there is no crash. So you gradually decrease that level throughout the day. So you still feel really like high in a way, like high on good
Nice.
emotions, high on good hormones. And that's what helps you to be very focused and, gain that mental clarity.
Nice.
I love it.
I really like it. It's really unbelievable because on like chemical stuff or alcohol, as you said, your body gets depleted and there is nothing to produce. How in this case, really your psychic doesn't get depleted. Actually, I get how, because even when you meditate with time, you learn how to create this happiness yourself. And here you're forced to meditate, and it's on another level, basically, right?
Yeah.
Wow, I love it. Tell me one more thing, and we would be shifting our conversation to an end, though there is so many things we can discuss about it. But you mentioned something about plants, and in general, where do you see this field going? I mean, wellness in Dubai. What should we expect in the future? And also what you are going to do. Maybe you have some plans, more
Of course.
studios?
Yeah. So, the way I look at it, that some people ask me, is it a trend? Is it going to pass? I look at it that, 20 years ago, only bodybuilders were going to the gym. And now it's a common man knowledge that building muscle and going to the gym increases your longevity. And now regular folk like you and I go to the gym, right?
Yeah.
So from something trendy, it became like a mainstream thing that now everybody knows and accepts. And I look the same at recovery. Like now it is on its peak and only pro athletes are doing it. People who are into longevity and recovery are doing it. And I see from my own statistics from my 2 studios that more and more people like you and I come and want to try it and, experiencing it for the first time. So I look at it, there's 4 main pillars now. There is sleep, which is a big thing now as well, right? People started finally prioritizing their sleep. There's exercise, there is nutrition, and there is recovery. And this is a new pillar, but I see it only growing and strengthening with time. And as for my plans, I see many different ways I can explore. I can not only build more locations like this to get more people to experiencing it firsthand, but I can also build into my own, for example, ice baths and my own sauna brand, which I can then I can become the showroom for people to come and try it at the Ice House Studios. But then if they really like the experience, they can get it for their house and install it there.
Wow, nice.
Hassle-free,
Yeah, you remove hassle on all the levels, basically. I love it. I love it. Okay. Guys, as I promised, our guest came with gifts And I'm happy if you're still watching our podcast till now. Thank you very much. Hopefully you liked us and our discussion. Please let us know in the comment what you liked, what you didn't like. We want to grow, we want to succeed, and we want to improve. But today, Ekaterina brought us two gifts. Number one, please write your comments about what you liked, let's say, or maybe something.
Maybe an insight they had from this podcast.
Yeah, maybe your insight, and we will pick one very creative and interesting comment, and Ekaterina will give.
I'm gonna give them our popular session of sauna and ice bath, which will be guided.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. Really, I got so excited after conversation with you. That's what I am going to do very soon.
Come.
Yeah. And
I'll wait for you.
Yeah. And second, we will leave promo code maybe, and you can get a discount on your first session. What would be the promo code?
We'll call it Business Lounge.
Amazing.
And it will give them 20% off their first session.
Wow, 20%. It's actually a very generous gift. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed our podcast. And just last question I want to ask you, what I'm asking all my guests. So tell me in like a couple of sentences or maybe one sentence, what success is for you, what you believe is success.
I would say that for me, success is doing something that fills my heart and soul with joy and enjoying the process along the way.
Yeah, I love it. Because, my quote I say on this podcast, get wealthy, get healthy, and enjoy the process.
Nice.
And on this amazing note, we hope that you enjoyed, because I really enjoyed conversation with
Me
you.
too.
Thank you for coming, and see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Comments, please, likes, follow,
subscribe.
Oh, by the way, how can you connect to our beautiful guest Ekaterina, and how can you find Ice House Dubai? So you will find everything in the description to this video. Bye.